Starting off part two of this top 10 list with number 8, Quincy Williams of the New York Jets. Last year he was number 10, so he's definitely risen up to two spots for him, and that's actually very reasonable and honestly not shocking. He's been extremely pivotal for the defense of the Jets. I know the Jets don't get much recognition or playtime because of, well, they are very disorganized. They're not an organization that's built to win, even though they have pieces that are built to win. But overall, Quincy Williams has been extremely consistent for him for a while. And again, number 8, I think, is a good placement for him. He's got 1 year, $6.5 million. We'll see if he decides to go to free agency or not. Sign a long-term deal. What will the Jets do? What will he do? It remains to be seen. He's got 1 more year though. 17 games played, 116 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits, 2 sacks, 4 pass deflections, 4 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, and fourth in the league in forced fumbles. So overall, has been definitely a key contributor to the defense and has been a monster. So overall, number 8 is a really good placement for him. He's not a typical outside linebacker in terms of sack wise, but he gets it done in other facets of the game. So overall, good on him. I hope that he continues to climb up. At number 7, it's going to be Khalil Mack. Last year he was number 7. This year, still at 7 because the impact that he has on the Chargers organization. He definitely has ups and down seasons. He's got great seasons. He's got Pro Bowl type numbers, All Pro type numbers, and then he has kind of a down kind of a year. It seems like he's just been like this for a couple years now, or a few years now. But Khalil Mack is still very impactful. Still a great football player. Still a great outside linebacker, and still a great sack artist. So, you know, when you definitely get him in some pivotal games, I mean, he's going to perform. He's still some guy that you got to watch film on, so he's still relevant, right? Khalil Mack's 34 years old, 11 years in the league. He's got 1 year, 18 million left with the Chargers, so we'll see what happens. 16 games that he played, 39 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 15 QB hits, 6 sacks, 9 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. The one game that he played, he had 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits, and 2 sacks in the playoffs, so very impressive. 2 sacks in one game is crazy, especially when he eclipsed 6 in 16 games. So he was a Pro Bowler, and deservedly so. Overall, a veteran type guy that continues to still do the little things and still continues to wreak havoc when he can. So overall, number 7, I think, is a good placement for him. He is a legend, and he has the ability of going to Canton for sure when he's all done. Going on to number 6, we got Brian Burns of the New York Giants. Honestly, it was great when they did get him, I believe, from a trade from the Carolina Panthers. And yeah, it's played pretty good dividends. He's definitely having the almost identical numbers as he usually does. I would like to see him leap towards a bigger goal of him and getting more sacks and just more more out of him, right? More production, but still produces at a high level and he still gets it done on a every Sunday basis. So overall, you can't knock it. He is number 6. He dropped down one spot. There's just been some edge rushers that I really do like this year that have stepped up in a great way. But Brian Burns still has the knack of being a top 5 guy. He's 27 years old, 6 years in the league, 4 years, $97.5 million, 17 games played, 71 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, 18 QB hits, 8.5 sacks, 8 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. He was 6th in tackles for loss. Obviously, no playoffs for the Giants. We'll see how it goes. If they want to build a team around Brian Burns, that would make sense. Trying to see where they can where they can go with this defense, and figuring out some pieces to compete in the East, primarily for a wild card at start, and then obviously go from there. So Brian Burns is a great piece. He's still got some time in him, and yeah, I want to see what he does this year. 5, it's going to be Jonathan Grenard. Last year he was number 7 as a D end, so he did transition to outside linebacker, and he's done a real good job of definitely transitioning into that. Definitely continuously getting to the quarterback, definitely a super impactful player when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings defense, and obviously they surprised a lot of people. But Jonathan Grenard was a great signing from Houston all the way to Minnesota. He's done wonders for him. I do like what they're about to do with him. He's 20 years old, 6 years in the league, or 5 years in the league, 3 years, $57 million, 17 games played, 59 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 22 QB hits, 12 sacks, 3 pass deflections, and 4 forced fumbles. In the one playoff game they had against the Rams, he did have 3 tackles and a QB hit. He was 11th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He was a Pro Bowler. He was 4th in forced fumbles, 4th in tackles for loss, and 5th in sacks. So very well deserving of being a top 5. At number 4, we're actually going back-to-back Vikings players at this point. The Vikings have definitely created a really solid unit at defense. They've made themselves a pretty good, formidable foe, especially in the NFC North for the Packers, Bears, and the Lions. And when they've grown these type of players with great coaching, I mean, it's going to be great to see on Sunday. And Andrew Van Ginkel has done a great job in terms of him being slept on all the time. He's underrated, but he continues to produce at a high level. So I definitely like watching Andrew a lot and play on Sundays. But yeah, Van Ginkel, 30 years old, 6 years in the league, 2 years, $34 million, 17 games played, 79 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 19 QB hits, 11 and a half sacks, 2 interceptions for touchdowns, 6 pass deflections, and a forced fumble. The one game that he played in the playoffs, he had 3 tackles, a tackle for loss, a QB hit, and a sack. He was 7th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He was a Pro Bowler. He was 1st in interception and touchdowns, 8th in sacks, and 4th in tackles for loss. Honestly, the thing I love about this guy right here is the fact that he is everywhere all the time. He's a great coverage linebacker. He can go over there and make great plays. He's got the athleticism. He's got a pretty good agility to him, some speed to him. So, he's able to force plays and he's able to wreak havoc, but he's also able to rush the QB and get there. So he's got a lot of different areas of the game that he can be extremely useful and helpful to, and it's great to see some recognition from him. He deserves that. So I think definitely number 4 is a good placement for him, especially not being ranked last year. He's definitely carried himself at a higher level now. Number 3, Nick Benito. Last year not ranked. So overall throughout the show, I've never been a person to have guys that just had a tremendous season go and be in a countdown or be so high in the countdown because, every player's got to prove it, right? Every player's got to have multiple years of being there. It's consistency. It's the ability of knowing that, okay, yeah, it's not just a 1 year wonder. It's not just, they didn't figure him out. And now that they figured him out, he's completely, deleted out of a lot of packages, schemes, whatnot. Offenses, they got it, or defenses, they got him. But it's very hard to not put a guy like Nick Benito in this countdown and super high. He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of superstar potential in him. I don't believe. I could see them trying to figure him out, but I don't believe that he's going to be slowing down anytime. He's still super young. He's still got so many days, so many camps, so many preseason games and whatnot to continuously improve. And he just seems that guy that has that ability of doing that. And the season that he had is definitely not something that you can just ignore. He had honestly a tremendous season from everything. He had a stat for at least every category it seemed like. So you have to there's sometimes you got to put him on a list, man. And that's where I'm at. Nick Benito, he's number 3, 25 years old, 3 years in the league, 1 year, $5.34 million on his rookie deal. It's a great time to explode for him. 17 games played, 48 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 24 QB hits, 13 and a half sacks, 1 interception for touchdown, 4 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 fumble recovery for touchdown. It's insane. The one playoff game, obviously they played the Bills, wasn't awesome, but I see him getting a lot more experience. 4 tackles and a QB hit. But what he was able to do, second team All-Pro, 3rd in sacks, 9th in tackles for loss, second in interception touchdowns, second in fumble recovery touchdowns, Pro Bowler, and ninth in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Yeah, him and Andrew Van Ginkel had great numbers this year. It's more than just sacks. It's more than just tackles for loss, tackles and whatnot. There's more to the game, and they definitely showed out their talent. So Nick Benito, very deserving of being here, and yeah, I hope that he continues on this wave. And Denver, you're gonna have to pay this man, so you're gonna have to pay him a lot. Number two, it's gonna be a very household name, Micah Parsons. He's going to stay at number two because number one has been number one for a long time. These are just the household names that I got, and it was easy to put who number one, number two was, honestly. Micah Parsons at number two can be number one, obviously, if he continues to climb and continue to produce at the level that we know he can produce. But Micah Parsons is definitely the X factor, the heartbeat of the Dallas defense. Micah Parsons continues to grow into a great football player, and honestly, I know that he loves winning and he wants to win and he wants to win a Super Bowl, and I believe that this is going to be a really big year for him, statistic wise, as well as the contract, okay? Because it's coming up. Is he going to stay in Dallas? Does he want to stay there? Does he want to win there, or figure out how to build a culture there, or is he going to go to a place that is ready to win now? So, that is something to see, and I would love to see what happens here. Because Micah Parsons, anywhere he goes, it's going to be a really good defense, and they're going to contend, man. So, Micah Parsons, 26 years old, 4 years in the league, 1 year, $24 million left on the deal. That was the club option for him from the rookie deal. 13 games played, 43 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 23 QB hits, 12 sacks, 1 pass deflection, 2 forced fumbles. He was 17th in Defensive Player of the Year. He was a Pro Bowler, and he was 5th in sacks. I mean, yeah, just a straight dog, and a guy that you just need to watch on Sunday, man, because he will wreak havoc. And Michael Parsons does not play, man. He's a beast. I want to see what he ends up doing, and honestly, opinion-wise, I hope that he goes somewhere that's going to appreciate him and he can win. I don't think it's going to be in Dallas, but yeah, he's the second best outside linebacker in the league, for sure. The number one outside linebacker in the league, it's TJ Watt. Yeah, he's almost unguardable. He's always wrecking havoc. He's always doing everything he can, and it feels like he gets robbed every year of a major award, which is insane to say the least. This is a man that's had or tied Michael Strahan's or sack record of a season. This is a man that's had better numbers than some of these Defensive Player of the Year winners. So it is frustrating, I would say, for him to not win a Defensive Player of the Year voting because that he has been one of the best defensive players in the game, and he's not getting the recognition he deserves. But again, he's number one, and I don't think there's a question about it right now. He's still playing at a very high level. He can continue to stay healthy. He's still going to do everything, obviously, at a high level. So TJ Watt's 30 years old, 8 years in the league, 3 years, $123 million that he just signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 games played, 61 tackles, 19 tackles for loss, 27 QB hits, 11 and a half sacks, 4 pass deflections, 6 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. He played in the Baltimore Ravens wildcard game. No stats at all, but he was there. Overall, though, 4th in Defensive Player of the Year voting, 2nd team All-Pro, Pro Bowl, second in tackles for loss, 1st in forced fumbles, and 8th in sacks. Yeah, I hope by the end of his career he does get one Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's deserves of it, and it would be a shame if he didn't, because again, he would have gotten robbed of it. He's been robbed of it about 2 times now. So, TJ Watt, tremendous athlete, tremendous player. He's number one.